Let's win it!
You've been called the Da Vinci of our time. What do you say to that?
Absolutely ridiculous. I don't paint.
That ball is history! A walk-off home run!
And it's going to be legendary.
James Pledger wraps your day with insight, opinion, plenty of your calls. He'll even pour a beer out the door for his favorite story of the day. This is Extra Innings with Pledger. Now, here's Pledge.
What's up, gang? Can't stop me now.
Good evening and welcome into Extra Innings with Pledger right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. I am James Pledger. Thanks for joining me today. Whether that's on 94.1, on the FM dial, whether that's on sasportstar.com, listening to our audio player powered by AA Best Bail Bonds, or if you're joining us on the YouTube channel. Just go to YouTube, type in at SA Sports Star, subscribe. You can comment along with the show. I appreciate everybody for jumping in already with the birthday wishes, and I appreciate everybody because they've been flowing in since early this morning, and my cup runneth over. It's truly a blessing. I appreciate everybody that took the time to reach out, and in some occasions, multiple times through multiple shows to wish me a happy birthday. It means a lot to me. I am 43 years old now, or as a good friend of mine decided to put it this morning, which I think is probably the most apt way it has been put to this point, is that I am 25 with 18 years of experience now. And that's probably the most apt thing that I had somebody write me this morning. So yeah, appreciate everyone. Thank y'all so much. I appreciate it. Smash the like button, comment along with the show. We're going to have some fun as we lead you into Rangers baseball as they get set to take on the A's, the Oakland, Sacramento, Las Vegas A's. I don't know who they are anymore or where they're playing, what stadium they're fighting to not fill up at this current time. It's it should be a walk for the Texas Rangers as they've got a much needed ability to just kind of stack some wins with some easier games as they get through this Josh Young injury, as they try and weather the storm after complications with him. And he has gone from 6 to about 8 to 10 weeks. And speaking of injuries, it's interesting because Framber Valdez, the starting pitcher for the Houston Astros, playing catch on Sunday as he was getting ready for his Monday start. They play, some long toss and catch. Felt elbow soreness. He is now gone on the injured list for 15 days with elbow discomfort or elbow inflammation. So he's going to be out for a little while now. And so the Astros pitching staff really taking a hit. And before we get into the Dallas Cowboys, this is something interesting because there's a lot being made of pitcher injuries and them being on the rise and why they may be on the rise and if the pitch clock could be an issue. And Justin Verlander earlier today said he doesn't foresee the pitch clock is kind of the issue, but more so there are other factors. And I thought starting pitcher Tyler Glasnow, when initially asked about when the pitch clock first became a thing last year, had one of the best answers to the rise in possible injuries for pitchers. And the pitch clock is a facade in terms of where the injuries may be happening. And it could be something that they instilled just recently before the pitch clock that's having the greater toll?
I 100% believe that contributed to me getting hurt. No doubt, without a doubt. I think like it's ridiculous. Like, I have used sticky stuff before. It's ridiculous that like it seems like this whole public perception of like, oh, it's just like select few people. Like your favorite pitcher probably 50 years ago was using something too. Like if you felt these, like you have to use something. So in the past, my substance of choice is sunscreen and rosin. Like just nothing egregious, something to where I can get a grip on the ball so it doesn't feel dusty. But 2 starts ago against the Nationals, I went cold turkey, nothing. And before that start, I remember when all this stuff came out, I was talking to people and talking to doctors, and they were like, the thing that maybe MLB doesn't realize or that players don't realize is like, what is the injury? What is the prevention of like, maybe it'll add to injuries. And in my mind, I was like, that sounds dumb. That sounds like an excuse a player would use to make sure he can use sticky stuff. But I threw to the Nationals with nothing. I don't use sticky stuff I don't use spider tack. I don't need more spin. I have huge hands. I spin the ball fine. I want grip. I did well against the Nationals, probably one of the best starts I had all year. I woke up the next day and was like, I am sore in places that I didn't even know I had muscles in. Like I felt completely different. I switched my fastball grip and my curveball grip. I've thrown it the same way for however many years I played baseball. I had to put my fastball deeper into my hand and grip it way harder. And I had to, instead of holding my curveball at the tip of my fingers, I had to dig it deeper into my hand. So I'm like choking the out of all my pitches. My cue I used to use with Snyder was hold the ball like an egg, like nice and loose, be loose. That's out of the window. So I now have to develop a new cue. I have to develop something where I can't hold the ball light anymore. I have to dig it deep into my hand. So I'm taking it, and you have to think, I'm not a doctor. I know you guys probably know that, but I'm taking a fastball. I'm squeezing the ball twice as hard. So all of this is I'm recruiting all these muscles, and I'm taking my arm as hard as I can, throwing.
That was Tyler Glasnow, former Cy Young winner, new Los Angeles Dodger, talking about how MLB's cold turkey, just get sticky stuff out of the game, has kind of affected the way pitchers have to grip the ball, which is causing them to grip it harder and change the way they've done things for so long, which may be an effect, an unforeseen effect that we're seeing with all these pitching injuries. Because remember, these injuries started to tick up well before the pitch clock. And so I'm not advocating for sticky stuff. I am not advocating for spider tack. I am not advocating for anything. And Pete Estrada says he's using excuses. Lots of players, not just pitchers, have complained about the new baseballs that have been put into effect by Major League Baseball and the inconsistency of those baseballs and how they feel and how you grip them and what they are doing to pitchers' grips. I'm not saying everybody in Major League Baseball is not telling the truth. I'm not saying everybody in Major League Baseball is not trying to gain an advantage in some way, shape, or form by continuing. But most pitchers don't even want sticky stuff. They just want the ability to be able to use sunscreen and rosin, which is the most adept way to gain a grip on the ball, more so than tack for spin rate and stuff like that. And I find it interesting with everybody freaking out about the amount of injuries to pitchers. And trust me, as an Astros fan, I'm very aware the entire starting pitching staff is apparently down, minus Ronel Blanco, who wasn't even supposed to make the team anyway, and has only allowed 1 hit and threw a no-hitter already this year. So there is an abundance of injuries, more so than I can remember, to pitchers and their elbows, and this can't just solely be about having to throw every 30 seconds. That's not that can't be the factor because they throw all the time. There have been studies done. There's nothing conclusive. Fred Robert Casares Jr. on YouTube asks if there's been a study done. There have been studies. None of them are conclusive because they're smaller. Daniel Batista's wondering what happened to Lance McCullers. McCullers' arm has been through the ringer. Tommy John elbow issues, including another one he is currently working his way back from. So they're hoping July that he may finally be able to return after the injury suffered. But there's no guarantee right now with any of these pitchers. There's just a ton of injuries. It is a spike that most people did not expect to see. And when you're talking about the amount of guaranteed money that you see invested in players, pitchers are starting pitchers especially are one of those massive draws, the same way as a power hitter, the same way as a quarterback. And the NFL has done everything it can to protect its star players on offense. I expect Major League Baseball, with the rise in injuries to Shane Bieber and all the starting pitchers that are ace caliber starting pitchers that they've had to deal with, I expect Major League Baseball to take a deeper look at this some point, because you're going to want your best and highest paid players on the field at some point. This is Extra Innings with Pledger. I am James Pledger right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 941 FM, sasportstar.com. The Dallas Cowboys are always in the news, even when they seemingly aren't doing anything to make news. Could one-star players' actions be wearing thin on the Cowboys organization? We'll discuss that next. And if CeeDee Lamb could potentially be holding out as we get ready for him to enter the final year of his contract. All that more coming up here on Extra Innings with Pledger on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Morning Huddle with Rob and RJ.
Wednesday on the Morning Huddle, it is par 3 day at the Masters. We'll get you going as the sun rises. We'll keep you up to date.
Plus, did the Spurs win on Tuesday night? Did they get magic number 20? We have all the answers, and we'll see you bright and early, starting at 6.
For the ones who work hard to ensure their crew can always go the extra mile, and the ones who get in early so everyone can go home on time, there's Grainger, offering professional-grade supplies backed by product experts so you can quickly and easily find what you need. Plus, you can count on access to a committed team ready to go the extra mile for you. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The good folks at Wendy's have a revolutionary new product for you. Introducing the new Orange Dreamsicle Frosty. It's like a time machine that takes you all the way back to now, the year 2024. It's the classic, creamy, orangey flavor you remember. Dare I say, it's new-timey. It's the flavor you grew up with, just all grown up. Head over to your local Wendy's establishment and get yours while supplies last. The new Orange Dreamsicle Frosty. Here for the now, for now.
Limited time only at participating Wendy's. Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-230-2777. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-230-2777. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-230-2777. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-230-2777, 800-230-2777, or biglou.com.
Looking for the ultimate hangout spot? Swing by 90 Proof Bar and Grill, where the kitchen stays fired up till midnight, serving up all your game day favorites with daily drink specials. 90 Proof Bar and Grill, corner of Highway 90 and Lucky Ranch. Food, cold drinks, and live sports.
hard work, dedication, and dreams. These are the keystones of success. But easily filing your taxes with TurboTax and Credit Karma doesn't hurt either. And getting your max refund guarantee definitely doesn't hurt. But let others think you did a lot of hard work to file your taxes when in reality, it was a walk in the park. No, you literally filed while walking your dog in the park. Winner! Because for you, so you can file quickly and confidently like the boss that you are. So give yourself the peace of mind that comes with getting expert help, because you're going places. Let's go. And make tax season feel like it's award season with easy filing. Yeah! Know that you're backed by the leading tax preparer, TurboTax, and we'll show you all your filing options up front, so there are no surprises. Feel accomplished and confident that your taxes are done right. File an Intuit Credit Karma today. Yeah. Expert help not available with all products. Guarantee details available at turbotax.com/guarantees.
Sadly, statistics show that 1 out of every 3 women in the U.S. will encounter physical abuse from an intimate partner, and violence against children persist. Christie's Hope strives to overcome domestic violence by providing critical financial support to shelters that offer housing, healing, and preventative measures. Thomas J. Henry proudly collaborates with Christie's Hope in the shared mission to end domestic violence and empower victims. Join us in building a legacy of hope. Donate today at christieshope.org.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop to opt out. Go to nomoredraftywindows.com for full offer details.
Attention all homeowners. Do you know when to replace your windows? Feeling too hot or cold? It's time to replace. Fog between the glass? Time to replace. Spending too much on expensive energy that literally goes out the window? It's definitely time to replace. If you've put off replacing windows in your home because it's too expensive, here's great news. You can now get a free in-home window consultation and free price quote from Renewal by Andersen, the company with the most 5-star reviews among leading full-service window replacement companies. And right now you can save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. Just text DRAFT to 200-300 for your free consultation on top quality affordable windows or patio doors for no dollars down, no payments, and no interest for a year. That's right, you don't pay a dime for an entire year. Plus save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. But hurry, these big dollar savings end this month. Text DRAFT to 200-300 right now. Text the word DRAFT to 200-300. Don't wait, text DRAFT to 200-300.
Urgent Camp Lejeune settlement message. The government will soon begin providing fast, guaranteed settlements to Camp Lejeune Marines, families, and civilians. Awards will range between $100,000 and $550,000 with an option for higher amounts. If you or a loved one spent time at Camp Lejeune and suffered cancers of the bladder, liver or kidneys, leukemia, non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, Parkinson's, or kidney issues, you may be entitled to a significant financial reward for your Camp Lejeune claim and could be paid within 60 days after accepting your settlement with your VA benefits fully protected. But the deadline for filing is fast approaching, so you need to act now. Call the James Harris Law Camp Lejeune helpline now to get the compensation you deserve. We're already fighting for thousands harmed by the water at Camp Lejeune, and with the deadline coming, you need to call now or you may forever lose your right to a settlement between $100,000 and $550,000. For your free evaluation, call 800-738-2277, 800-738-2277, 800-738-2277.
Mission's opening night is here, and it's not just any Tuesday, it's AARP $2 Tuesday, presented by 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Bring the whole family and catch all the action for just $2. Gates open at 6, first pitch at 7:05. Visit samissions.com for tickets and details.
This is Andy Monaco, and the Aggies play here. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Welcome back into Extra Innings with Pleasure right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportsstar.com. Over the weekend, Michael Gelkin had an interesting article come out talking about the potential of CeeDee Lamb holding out at OTAs. And part of me is like, yeah, duh. Going into the final year of his deal. If you want to force the issue, and I don't even think holdout's going to be the real thing. I think it's going to be a hold in where he shows up but doesn't do anything there. That way he doesn't get fined by the team and likely will make his point on, hey, let's start getting this going. And it's best for Jerry to start getting this going because Jerry has been perennially late at getting deals done unless he can get them done at a big discount. And that's the only time that a guy is willing to sign a deal, or they're willing to sign a deal early. They never pay top of the market until top of the market has already raised again. And in doing so, you have a lot of receivers about to be at the table around CeeDee Lamb. You've already got Tyreek and Devontae Adams up there around 28 to 30 million. Well, you're going to have arguably the best receiver in the game, Justin Jefferson, coming up soon, Jamar Chase, Brandon Ayuk, T. Higgins, Stephon Diggs now because he is on a one-year deal and will hit the market again. Keenan Allen, Amari Cooper, DeAndre Hopkins, Brandon Cooks, Deontay Johnson, Hollywood Brown, Nico Collins, and Amon-Ra St. Brown, all coming up after this year. So any one of these guys that starts to jump in front of him, you're talking about a guy that literally broke every single Cowboys receiving record this year. Receptions, yards, touchdown, like broke them. Best Cowboys single season performance in franchise history. The numbers speak for themselves. He is a top receiver in this game. Be proactive, Jerry. You have to. It's the only way to get a deal on a big ticket player is to get said deal done early so that deal becomes more lucrative and better for you later. And it's just something Jerry hasn't been willing to do, at least with his big ticket players. Now, another thing that came up is Sean Sharif of 105.3 The Fan claimed that he had been talking with people within the Cowboys, and he says, quote, I'm talking about at least 4 different people who have told me that Micah has worn thin there. Now, he says people. He doesn't say whether they're trainers, assistants, coaches, players, just says it's worn thin. I don't know how much is true and how much actually hurts. I don't know whether this behavior is typical of a superstar. I don't know how damaging it is, but all I know are way too many people that if Micah Parsons was out of there, there would be a decent amount of people inside the Ford Center at the Star in Frisco smiling and breathing a sigh of relief. Now, earlier today on 105.3 The Fan, Shireen Williams of Pro Football Talk joined and said this about the situation.
Well, number one, it came from the Cowboys flagship station. So if the Cowboys wanted to cut that off, they could simply call the flagship station and say, stop this nonsense. It's obvious they haven't done that. So I would start there, but I would also point out that none of the beat writers who are out there every single day have written a story like this. So take that however you want to take it. I don't know that that matters. He's a great player. He's not doing things off the field that concern you as far as red flags, arrests, suspensions, none of those type things. If I'm the Cowboys, I'm not worried about anything he's doing. He's talking, he's speaking his mind, big deal. I mean, I agree with Mike. Mike and I talked about it before he ran it. If that's a concern for you, then you're probably in the wrong business, and you probably do need to just let him walk away then. If that's truly a concern, let him walk away.
He would fetch a huge price if you were to let him walk away. The one thing I will say, look, he hasn't said anything too out of pocket, but, and it doesn't specify who the people in the building he's talking to is, but accountability is not something that Micah has shown a lot of. And if I am a player on either side of the ball, I would be very upset with always having the finger pointed at me and none of the blame coming back your way. This is Extra Innings with Pleasure. We got Rangers baseball coming up next right here on your home for the Rangers, San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1 FM, San Antonio Sports
Spring Black
Star.
Friday savings at the Home Depot. You can get up to $1,000 off select laundry appliances from top brands like LG, America's most reliable line of appliances. And with convenient shopping in-store and online, you can get new appliances with smart, intuitive features any way you want. Like a new LG wash combo all-in-one that can run a full load in under 2 hours. Right now, get $1,000 off select laundry appliances with Spring Black Friday savings in-store and online at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
When Cynthia came to TurboTax, she just launched her new side gig, a true crime podcast.
I'm a first-rate detective with a golden voice.
As her TurboTax expert, I made her second income count by guaranteeing 100% accurate filing and her maximum refund.
What did she do with that refund? Find out next week.
Switch to Intuit TurboTax and